What's up? Got Ryan in the studio tonight.
Live. Are we live?
We are live.
All right.
I need to give you some more gain, I think, on your mic there. Wow, what a freaking week and a half, 2 weeks you've had.
It's been a hell of a 2 weeks.
Yeah. So why are you here in studio? Not that, I mean, you're always welcome in studio, but you know.
Yeah, I'm here because I'm homeless now.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So
like legit homeless?
Well, I mean, we have a place to stay. We have a suite. But other than that, I'm out of a home. Like my home.
Yeah, what happened?
I burned it down.
If I remember correctly, I think the correct was I burned your house down.
I burned it. That's like when I was going over. So well, before I get too much into it, that's pretty much what happened. My ATV caught on fire and caught my house on fire.
Oh man!
But I'm in the woods, so like everyone was safe. The kids were gone. Wife is gone. I got the dogs out. And then went up, started making its way through the leaves down to the forest a little bit. So I was told. At that point, I was in the back of a cop car.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. You almost got arrested, huh?
Well, I don't think I almost got arrested, but the cop car was used as a straitjacket for a while, I think. I think that's what it was because so while I was trying to put it out, I was actually spraying the four-wheeler, and it was like probably about 8 feet from the house. It started to blow and catch the house. I was spraying it, and at that point, that's when the local cop came up, and I thought, well, I need to make a choice. Probably better go now. I knew I had enough time because the house wasn't burning on the inside. So I ran through the garage, and as I was going through the garage, he goes, "Don't go in there," and I was like, "Fuck you!"
Right.
And so I went into the kitchen. He followed me in, which is garage, through the laundry room to the kitchen. And he's like, "You got to get out." And I'm like, "No." And him and I kind of tussle a little bit. We're wrestling in the kitchen. I'm yelling at my dog at the same time. Now, my girl dog was actually down there waiting for me. She's the smart one. She's like, "Okay, yeah, I've been waiting for you. Where you been?" And then the boy, he was just hiding away upstairs. So I couldn't get up there because I was at this point tussling with the cop. Yeah, so he's pushing me back out the way. And I wasn't at my best because I've been running around trying to put out a fire and I breathed. I just about went out, man. We talked about this the other day. Mm-hmm. I always wondered, they always say stop, drop, and roll, but what if you can't, right? Am I close enough? Am I talking all right?
Yeah. I'm just making sure everything's set, and I think we're good to go now.
Yeah. Okay, good. So it's weird because I always thought, well, how bad can the smoke be? Well, it can be pretty bad, and I was outside. So there was like a huge wall after I completely lost what would you call it, containment of the fire?
Yeah,
It was like a huge, not flames, but smoke. And I mean, it was probably 20 feet high. I have trees. I'm surrounded by trees, and I couldn't see the trees. I mean, it was like a mixture of dark smoke, some gray in there, nice little rainbow of smoke. And at one point, the wind grabbed it. It hit me in the face, and it went straight directly into my lungs.
Let me see if I can move this up a little bit. Yeah, see, get a little bit closer to that.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it hit me directly in the lungs. And at that, I kind of went lightheaded. I kind of started to go, like you ever get clipped, mm-hmm. You kind of go, ooh. And I remember going, oh, it just all hit me like, shit, don't go. You got some work to do yet. And I kind of buckled a bit, and I was like, well, that's how that shit happens. That's how people go.
Yeah. So, I mean, most people that die in house fires are dead way before the flames ever get to them. The smoke inhalation, the asphyxiation, it takes you out quick, man, because the fire is consuming all of the oxygen, and it takes it literally out of your lungs. Sucks.
Yeah, and that was it. Like I said, I didn't. It's kind of one of those things where it wouldn't happen to me, but then when it hit, I didn't know. Like I didn't expect that. And then another thing too was like my lungs were just the rest of the day they burned. Like if you ran marathons. I get that burning, but then I was hacking all night. I started to kind of lose my voice at the end of the night. I actually did get into the when the medics were there. I got into the ambulance and they checked my blood level or oxygen levels, and they were all fine. They were like, well, maybe you want to go to the hospital. I'm like, well, I'm not a fool. I already got a freaking hundreds of thousands of dollar bill up here.
Right.
I go, I'm not going to pick up a $5,000 bill too. So I said, no, I'll be fine. They go, well, you might, sometimes it can do this. Well, I know I didn't get hit with fire. I know it was just smoke.
Right.
And of course, like the next day I felt better, but yeah, I get it. I heard so many stories from the firefighters. Because I think I had like 6 or 7 trucks there. Some cops, sheriffs.
Did they get all the way up your driveway?
Yeah,
that's crazy, man.
Yeah, I did. I had 3 trucks in my driveway, and then like probably 2 fire or not fire cop cars, and then the ambulance parked down at the end. Which the end's probably about 100 yards, probably about the length of a football field to the end of the main street outside in the neighborhood, but. Yeah, man, it was something. What was I saying? But I heard so many stories from different people that were on the scene. And the one I kept hearing over and over was the guy, I think it happened out here recently. He was doing like an auto body shop or something. He had something in his garage. And I think his whole family was in there, but he got him out. He got the family rushed to the door, but something made him turn back around. And I think they said he went. I heard it so many different ways, but from the guys I heard, that the firefighter said that he went back, or the investigator actually, he went back in to check on his garage because he had a bunch of that stuff in there. He wanted to make sure see if it was okay, but I guess it was engulfed.
Oh man!
So when he opened that door, how did they put it to me? And I'm probably saying this the wrong way, but you may know. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but the oxygen. It was gone. So the minute that he opened it, just sucked the oxygen out of his lungs.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about.
Okay.
Because that fire is way more powerful than your lungs. If it's a big fire like that, geez, that's got the whole building or house, whatever.
Yeah.
You got to pull that oxygen right out.
Yeah. So they said he just dropped right there and he never came out. So they lost him. I guess they lost him that day. And I think he was outside. And so I don't think it needed to be that way, but something made him go back in and check. I don't know why. I know I was doing stupid shit too, because I was thinking, I just want to get this fire out.
Well, you don't think right, man.
No, you don't. And that, yeah, you just totally don't. Like the only thing I could think about was, this is going to sound fucking crazy, but I'm going to be honest. How embarrassed am I going to be? I was thinking, I don't want the neighbors and everybody going, this fucking dude lit his house on fire.
It's the shit that goes through your head in those fight or flight moments.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, man. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's like I told you, man, when I had that heart attack, the first thought in my head was, well, I guess I'm going to find out if God's real or not.
Yeah.
Who thinks
the kind
that?
of shit. Well, I think that's what you just said. That's what it is. Because I had so many things. There was embarrassment. But the biggest part, I think, was my kids.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even think about, and that came in later, but it's Christmas time. Like I think it was November 29th or something like that. We'd just gotten back from Thanksgiving with our in-laws, my mom. And I didn't even have a chance to think about that. And then I was just, I got to get this out for oh my God, because that's what I was thinking. It's literally in my brain, oh my God, I'm burning their fucking house down.
Right.
And so I'm trying to spray it out. And then my neighbor, God bless him, man, he came up. He's not a young guy, but he was like, you need some help? And I'm like, yeah, because I had some problems. I got the hose over there, but it was all tangled up. So we had like 3 hoses. My wife likes to go around water and shit. First off, we have leaves everywhere on top of the hoses. I had to get those off. I had to go run the hose over there. And I turned it on as I was going. So I did it beforehand. So I got to the garage part where I needed to be at. And there was nothing coming out. So I couldn't even see the end. Normally you'd see the end. Turns out I think it was frozen.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so there was maybe something frozen. I ended up getting my knife out. I cut it behind. At the time, I didn't know I'd cut it too short.
Ah, jeez.
So I probably cut it back about, I'd say 4 to 5 feet. But when I was talking to the fire investigator, he's like, it wouldn't fucking matter. As soon as it hit that cedar, because we have like cedar siding, he goes, it just goes, hits those eaves, it curls up in there, grabs that oxygen from inside, and then goes. He's like, I go, well, I still think I could have had it, but I cut that thing too short.
No way, dude.
Yeah, maybe not, but I
No
would like to try.
freaking way, dude.
I kept trying. So my neighbor goes, can I help? And I go, yeah, hold this. I'm going to go get another hose. I went and got another hose. I ran that around to the front, tried to undo the other hose, and I couldn't get it off. And I remember thinking, oh, this is fucking unbelievable. Like, first off, I cut it too short. Water's coming out. And then it hits, as soon as I started spraying the four-wheeler, and because at that time, my four-wheeler and riding lawnmower, both parked next to each other on fire. And so when I started spraying it, I heard, you start to hear the crackle, the wood, like, popping, like, oh, fuck, I got my house. You see it kind of curl up. And yeah, so, but I was running around 100 miles an hour. And at the same time, before that, I'd finally realized, because you're kind of putting it off, like, I think I can get this. I think I got this. And then I realized, fuck, I got to call. So I called 911 and I was like, I don't even remember what the hell I said. Because I'm running, I'm out of breath.
My house
is on fire. She's like, okay, I remember hearing this. She said, calm down, you fucking idiot. You ruined your kid's Christmas. No, she goes, calm down. And I go, okay, but my house is on fire. So my neighbor must have called too.
Did you say my house is like my dick? What do you mean, sir?
Can you imagine that being on the 911 call? They asked me about it later. I'm like, I don't know. I was out of it. But it is.
Well, it's that adrenaline, man.
Dude, it's crazy. But you don't really, like you were saying earlier, you don't think about like why that guy maybe went back in and then he got burned alive. You don't think that shit can happen. I wouldn't have thought that could happen. I probably would have thought the same thing. Like, I'll be okay. I just want to check and see. It'd be really easy to go, what a fucking idiot. But I don't think that I would have known. Actually, I know that I wouldn't have known. Would I have done that or not? I don't know. But I do know that if I didn't do it, it sure as fuck wouldn't be, because I know that it would suck the oxygen out of my lungs. You know what I mean?
I know all that, and I still would have done it if Alma was in here, the kids.
Yeah,
it's not even a thought, man.
Yeah, that's how I ended up in the back of the police car, because after I finally kind of walking out, and I remember I was keeled over because I was just so out of breath, and I'd get down on my knees, and I think he thought at any moment I was going to bolt I was getting like in a running position. So he kind of like, he's seeing kind of like this, and then he goes, well, when the fire truck showed up, he goes, I'm going to go tell him. But I need you to get in my car. And I go, I'm not getting in your fucking car, dude.
Did he cuff you?
No.
Oh.
No, he didn't want to go there. He's like, I can't, I can't go tell them. I can't leave unless I know. And my neighbor was right there too. So we were kind of a good distance away from the fire. Because it wasn't full blaze yet, but he goes, fuck. And I was like,
he got you.
Dude, that's a shitty feeling, being in the back. And
I know.
So like he puts me in the back of a car and I can't breathe anyways, because I'm so out of breath. So it's cold. And dude, those seats are pretty tight because they got like the freaking thing. There's not a lot of room in that shit.
Nope.
And I'm breathing so and the whole fucking window keeps fogging up, but I want to see what's going on, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like missing everything. So I kind of wipe it, and then another officer showed up, and I was kind of like, I'm fine. I'm like knocking on the window, and you'd see him kind of like look out the corner of his eye, like, fuck you. And I kept knocking. Oh, I'm fine. I'm calm. Because so then all of a sudden, they came out with the dog. So it was a little nice lady firefighter. She busted my fucking door in and came out with him on the rope. So I had both of my dogs outside at that point.
Nice.
Then I was calm. Okay, all's good. I'm not going to run back in there now. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
And so she's looking around for me. She's like, where's the owner at? And they're like, oh, he's in my car. And she's like, why is he in your car? And you can see him out there because I had to protect him from myself, basically. And later on, she was telling me the story. She was like, I've done the same fucking thing. Like, so.
I don't know anybody that wouldn't.
Yeah. So
anybody that I know anyway, personally.
And that's just it. You're not thinking. I didn't give a shit. Honestly, you always hear people say, well, you know what I would have done? I'm like,
no, you wouldn't.
Okay. probably, yeah, whatever. And then and I always question myself because you don't know. It's like, like Mike Tyson said, you don't know until everybody's got a plan until they get punched.
That's right.
And I know it's different. But I'll say this: I always question myself, like, what would I do in a situation? Would I just cower up? But I didn't give a fuck about myself. And
fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, I know how I would react in most situations because I've been in a lot of situations, and I've been in 2 fires underway on a submarine, dude. So number one, I know how scary it is. Number two, I know for certain you wouldn't put that shit out by yourself with a garden hose.
Well, it sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, it's an effort, and it's the logical thing in your mind at the time.
Nobody knows it better than me that I didn't.
Right.
I didn't. For those in the audience are wondering what happened, I didn't put it out.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I did. They did give me credit for slowing down. Yeah. Now, whether that was just to make me feel better for
probably. But I mean, who's to say? Maybe you did. Maybe you didn't. But there's definitely a technique to fighting fires, and the downside is, with the 4-wheeler and the gas or the lawnmower, once that's on fire, I mean, now you're dealing with not just a class alpha fire. Now you're dealing with Bravo Charlie potentially. So it takes more than just water to put it out. So that's why I say there's no way you would have put it out.
And see, I don't know enough about that to argue with you. So, okay. All I know is my dog got out. They finally let me out of the cop car. There was 3 officers. There was the chief. There was the guy that I tussled with, who ended up putting me in the back of his car. And then there was another one, and he goes, "Hey, I go, dude, you don't have to explain yourself. Look, we were just working on opposite sides for a second. I wanted to get my dog. You didn't want me to die. I get it. You don't have to, And we all kind of laughed and chuckled about it afterwards. It was just happened to be working out that way. But he's safe, and he's as needy as ever, and he's now in a 700, maybe 600 square foot suite, 2-bedroom suite with me, my wife, and my 2 kids, and my other dog. So this is fucking great.
Don't let him fool you. It's not a suite. It's the ghetto inn.
It's definitely different. I'll tell you what, man. When something like this happens, I was just telling my photo today. All of us got out. Everybody's safe. The insurance is so far taking really good care of us. We had good insurance. It sucks, but I mean, when this kind of shit happens, you look at sometimes how lucky you are.
Yep.
And I think sometimes we forget that. And I'll give myself, I don't want to pat myself on the back here. I didn't really feel sorry for myself. I didn't say, why me? We talked about this.
Right.
I just figured, because the minute I started thinking about like people that don't, here I am, I won't have a home for Christmas. And I realized there's people that don't ever have fucking homes for Christmas.
Right.
And
you've got a roof over your head. Everybody's safe.
Yeah, you got a roof over your head. And then I started talking to some people. We're not like in a real hellhole, but it is like like what did Connie call it?
It's an extended stay.
Extended stay. And there's some people in there that like I listened to their stories and I was like, how come you haven't killed yourself?
Right. Do you want some help?
Yeah, what the hell's what are you hanging on to? Because like, dude, if I didn't have kids and shit, I burned my house down. I think I'd be like, fuck this, but you stay around, you stick around because you got kids and you got your family and they count on you to take care of all of the shit that I'm taking care of right now, which is an absolute night. I mean, like I said, insurance is great and everybody's went out of their way to make it, I think, as easy as it possibly can be. But having said that, it's still constant phone calls and stuff like that. So,
do you see Billy Bruce in the room? Hey, Billy. He said, hey, long-time listener, first-time caller. He said he would have done the same thing. Yeah, see, that's my point. There's not anybody that I know that would not have done the same.
Yeah, and I didn't even, like I said, I didn't think about, my wife did flip me a little bit of shit later on, but she'd had some drinks because it's been 2 of those weeks. And she goes, well, I just don't know what you were thinking. And I said, look, man, this is fucking hard. Everyone's like, well, it's not, you didn't do this. I'd been working on the 4-wheeler. I'd started up at Rev High. So that's how it ended up catching. the investigator thinks is it ignited after because it ran hot, ignited, caught, and then it ended up with the wind blew it towards the house. But
what's up, Murdog?
I still feel like it's my fucking my issue, and everyone's like, oh, it's not your fault, but it still is. It feels like it is.
Well,
but if I'd have lost my dog,
yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe it was your fault, but ain't shit you can do about it now.
Yeah, fucking was your fault.
Well, I mean, honestly, what can you do about it? Whether it was or it wasn't, it happened.
Yeah,
and you can't change it.
Yeah, I could have taken the four-wheeler, and I think about that a lot.
Sure,
I can't beat myself up. Actually, I don't think about it a lot because the minute I start to think about it, I said, "Don't think about that."
Yeah, it's man, it's just one of the things that happens. You can't, you have a little bit of onus in it, but can you come out and just directly say it's your fault? No, who would have done that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the only thing you think, and I try not to think about that. The only thing I can think about is, man, I hope I fucking learned something from this. Because my wife tells me so much to just take it in, or I like to learn shit.
Yeah,
I like
for
to
sure.
Constantly like just be doing something or learn more. Hey, how does that get done? And
well, now you're gonna learn.
I take it too far.
Now you're gonna learn how to
my fucking house done doing it. So
now you're gonna learn how to rebuild a house.
For sure, dude. Like I'm apologizing. Like you can't apologize enough. It's the things that really, and they don't mean to do it, because there is that guilt, whether it's deserved or not. In my head, I feel that I'm culpable. It's responsibility.
Sure.
You can tell me all you want that, but
ultimately, sure, it's your responsibility,
right?
And that's what I was saying. It's just that you have some onus in it. It's your responsibility, but
right.
You can't directly come out and say it's 100% your fault.
Yeah, I mean, I guess and I don't think anybody feels that way with some. I guess I'm lucky like that. But there's like when people, if they have a bad day or something like that, for me, it makes it worse. I keep it quiet, but I'll get like somebody will say, oh, it's just so tough to do. Like my daughter will be like, oh, it's just so hard to do my schoolwork in this place. I'm like, fuck.
Billy says in the room, but honey, that open floor plan you wanted.
Yeah, that's a great one. But, so that's kind of where we're at right now. I didn't dare tell the investigators this, but when we were going over everything, we had originally, because my mother's, she's getting up there. She's 87, still good, but we've often talked about she's in Kansas City. We'd have to maybe move her here. She's not going to go into a home. We'd have to deal with that. My wife being great, it's like, yeah, we definitely move her here. So
wait, she's not going in a home. You can put street.
I can put her in the street. Yeah, I can burn her house down.
That's right.
Put her in a stay bridge.
Work for that dinner.
Right. An extended stay. I know a great extended stay, Mom.
And there's not that many needles.
So we've been talking about that for a couple of years. We were going to do something about COVID, maybe add on to the front. Then I started talking about adding up. Now, this is why I didn't say anything to the investigators, because, the area that I wanted to add on to is the fucking area I burn up. So,
I see what's happening now.
Right. So I didn't say anything, but I was going over it with my adjusters. And I'm like, hey, we've always had these ideas. He's like, yeah. He goes, you just make it. Well, you can do it now. Just make sure. And he kind of gave me the run through and my contractor and everything like that. So, I kept that part quiet. It's like, I wasn't out there trying to put the fire out going, I've always wanted to add on.
Insurance fraud? Call 188. Fuck you.
I did get some questions. I mean, I had the fire investigator there, asking about certain things. But I think
everything matched up, right?
Everything matched up. And my one buddy said he's a cop or used to be a retired cop in Vegas, and he goes, he said, he goes, your wife wasn't in it. That's how they know. She was asleep.
Right.
So,
damn, that's funny as shit.
Yeah. So anyhow, I'm at an extended stay right now. But
not for much longer.
Not for much longer. Yeah, we got a place which is pretty quick, I think.
Yeah, real quick.
We got it's a duplex condo, kind of a duplex deal. So hopefully for only 6 to 7 months, depending on what, if we build up, how much time that takes. Then of course we have to foot the bill. What we've already discussed, we'd be willing to do, but that would give us the space eventually if I have to move my mom in with me.
Right. And it can make a good little studio until that time.
Great studio. And I said the other night, I said, should I put a bar above the garage area? Because it's going to be like, there'll be like she wants to do the master bedroom and then move things around. And I go, we can put a bar in the corner. And she goes, nope. And I go, okay.
well, in the studio, it'd be perfect. Excuse me. So we decided to go out and get your minds off of some of the shit that's been happening for a while. So we went out Friday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, that place, man.
Wow. Yeah. So there's across from our extended stay hotel. It's literally across. So I was like, well, we'll meet you there 6:37, and I can walk. So I was good with that. Like I didn't have to get and drive, because that would be like the next thing. I'll get in a drive. That would be the icing on a cake. And the guy that would arrest me would be the guy that had me in the back of his car.
Probably. Yeah.
So I walked across the street, met you guys over there, and it's a tiny bar. It's probably
it's not real big.
It's like a phone booth, almost. It's almost like a phone booth. There's like one stall restrooms, right?
Yeah,
at least in our restroom.
I don't know. I just pissed outside with the dog.
That's right. I didn't even see you piss. Did you piss?
No,
you weren't drinking. So
I went outside with the dog.
Yeah, he doesn't drink, and I was kind of pissed that night because I wished I didn't drink, because I was in a restroom. Once it hit, I just kept going.
Yep, broke the seal.
Wait in line with fucking people that go to bars. They were our age.
Yeah,
but they're regulars.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they were regulars, which is
regularly weird.
A little bit, yeah. Because that
go home.
Yeah, and what did you say? I said, I looked across so Andy, those who know Andy knows he can barely hear.
What?
Right. And the music, we happened to be right next to the guy with the guitar.
Right.
And you were right next to the speaker.
Right.
I don't think I could have got that speaker fucking closer to you. Right, you were like right next to the speaker.
I may as well just sat on it.
You kind of were. I mean, you were fucking. You don't get any closer to it. Like you could have back and touched it. So that's like a bad situation. And but I leaned over to Andy at one point and I said, "Fuck!" I go, I like the crowd because they're kind of our age and there's nobody looking for.
Yeah, it was chill.
Yeah, and it's nice setup. It's not like a dive or anything like that. It's just a small bar. And what did you say to me? You said, and I fucking laughed my ass off. Women are hard though. And I thought it, you said it, and I was like, yeah, there's some hard women there. But in like a weird sort of way, right? Like they might have had a good job, but
I think I need to change that more to worn. They were just worn like a saddle, man.
Yeah, and then I was lucky enough. So you had the speaker by you, and then a little bit after that, I was lucky enough to have them dance.
Yeah.
I got elbowed. Once the alcohol kicked in, I'll bet I got elbowed fucking 7 or 8 times in the head.
Easily.
Close, yeah.
It was
sorry. And then, so you brought Alma with us, and she got stepped on once by me because I step on her every time I see her by accident, but once by some strange. Was it just once? Some lady stepped on her.
Yeah, some lady stepped on her.
She had her pumps on. Was that the one with the red pumps?
No, it was. I think it was a waitress. Actually, she had tennis shoes on, but
yeah, maybe.
But I was not doing well in that damn place, man.
Dude, you and I, yeah. So you got the anxiety thing, and we were just talking about that.
Yeah.
I was kind of telling you, I kind of in the same boat because like you get to that age where you, first off, you're like, why in the fuck am I here?
Right.
And me, I'm like, well, I just burnt my house down.
We know why you're there.
Why are you here?
Well, that's what friends are for.
Yeah,
man.
he's here to comfort me, but I felt bad about that too because I was like, dude, this has got to be. But I felt the same way. I always get anxious like that. The only people that don't get anxious are drunk wives. And that's because they're like, he'll get me out of here, okay?
Yeah, they were shit faced.
Yeah, they were partying. Let's get up and dance. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna get out at least another 2 times.
Yeah, y'all go right ahead.
Yeah,
but man, and then of course, fucking one point I looked down and some jackass is petting my dog.
Oh yeah,
and she's got her vest on, and it says "Service dog, do not pet." And I wasn't Nice.
No, well, and I kind of missed out on that because I couldn't hear either,
Right.
because it was so fucking loud. But I knew there was some bad vibes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not your dog, your stress dog, but I could pick up on the vibes.
Oh, I was just ready to rip his throat out.
Well, what did he say to you? He said
he didn't say much. I said, "What the fuck are you doing, man? It's a service dog. Can't you read?"
No, he didn't ask you. I thought maybe he said, "Can I pet your dog?"
No, I just happened to look down and he's petting her.
Yeah.
Who does that, man?
No,
Who just walks up and pets a dog randomly?
Yeah. Well, I learned something that night. I'm learning a lot. Learning I couldn't put the fire out of my house. I'm learning you don't work on your 4-wheeler that close. I'm learning a lot of shit in these last couple of weeks, but I didn't. I'm going to sound like maybe an idiot to you and probably the people listening that know this shit, but I didn't know you. Of course, I wouldn't have pet the dog. I don't think I would have been compelled to go, you know what, I'm going to go pet this guy's dog.
Right.
It's just not me.
Right.
But I didn't know that you weren't supposed to pet a service dog. And you, I looked over at it and go, oh, you're not supposed to do that. And you said no, but it makes sense to me now when you explained the why.
Right.
Okay. So, yeah.
Yeah. It just basically distracts the dog from doing their job. And there are people out there that have service dogs that are far worse off than I am. And they really need, like, the seizure disorders. So if you're distracting that dog and this person starts to have a seizure, that dog can't do its job.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, I didn't think about that. I mean, something that's very... Well...
because they're dogs, yes, but they're not pets, you know, they're working animals, and they serve a very needed purpose. Mm-hmm. And I think your average Joe just looks and see 4 legs and a tail and they want to come pet the thing, not realizing that, well, maybe there's a reason that says service dog, and I mean, hell, all you gotta do is look at me and know I'm fucked up.
Yeah. And I don't even think that, because I love dogs. I love my dogs. Obviously, went into a house is on fire for my dogs, but it's like, I don't know how dedicated I am to needing to pet someone else's dog in a bar.
Right.
Right.
Well, you know, it makes sense because you're drunk, so it lowers your inhibitions, and you know, people do dumb shit when they're drinking. So,
well, that's what it was. Yeah. So then it gets better because I kind of catch the tail end of it, but like I said, I knew there was some bad vibes. So the way the bar is set up, it's like, is it kind of like an L shape?
Yeah, kind of. Well, almost. Yeah, kind of almost like a T in a way, because like you go off into the back with the restroom.
Like an L, but then it veers off, and then there's 2 restrooms, and you're kind of trapped.
Yeah.
At the end of that hall, and there's like the woman's restrooms on the very end of the hall, and then the man's restrooms closer to where we were at. So I had,
and then the trannies is right in the middle.
For sure. There's a table full of them.
It's for all the Bud Light drinkers.
Yeah.
So yes, I went there.
So he ends up. This is right after that happened. So I don't know if it had something to do with it, but I go down the hallway, and of course, because there's only one stall, there's fucking someone in it.
Of course.
I have to wait outside, and then 2 of these hard women that Andy was talking about, and they fucking every bit as hard as you said they were.
They're like old ranch horses, man.
Well, they started asking me, so is that his service dog? And I said, yeah. So we're not, so you can't pet it? Because I don't know if that guy was with him, or maybe they were asking for themselves. I don't know, because I was kind of still in the
I don't think he was. He was he was still in his UPS uniform.
Okay. So he's still out delivering.
I don't know what the fuck he was doing.
Cliff Clavin, right?
Yeah. Close.
Yeah. But so they started asking me, and I said, they go, can we, I fucking found this out at the same time that guy did. I go, I don't know. And they go, well, is there something wrong with that guy? I go, he's just fucking crazy. I go, he's a kind of a lunatic. I said, but other than that, I go, I got dogs. You guys can pet my dogs. And, to that, but it was really funny because it was like really a thing. It was a thing, which I don't know.
Yeah, weird. Yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
He's fucking crazy.
Yeah. I go, he's a fucking lunatic, but I don't know whether than that. I mean, the dog helps for something. I don't know. And I guess I've never looked at her like that because I see her so much. I've never.
Yeah.
When she's working, mm-hmm. She's your tool kind of in a way at that point. I've never considered it. I just thought. Yeah,
because most times you're either over here, I'm over at your place, and but in fact, I don't think we've ever been anywhere with her
Mhm.
in public. So
No,
yeah,
I
that
think
makes
we
sense.
had her out one. Didn't we go somewhere else one time? And I thought, but I can't remember where, which isn't surprising. But yeah, I guess I've never seen such a fixation on a.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. And then one guy came out, had his hand out, like he was getting ready to pet her. And he said, "Hey, is your dog bite?" I said, "Yep."
Was that inside?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought so. There was a few. Didn't some girl come up too? Now she was really hard.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that was freaking.
Yeah. I told her.
I've seen better days. For
Fucking
sure.
pack sand.
Oh yeah, and she asked the same thing, right? Which
Well, at least she asked. She says, "Can I pet your dog?" I said,
Right.
"No, she's working."
yeah, that's right. So I'm kind of blown away by all of this going down because I guess I've never seen that. But they're drunk.
Yeah.
They're pretty drunk. So like at the end of the night, Andy's not drinking. Our wives are, and they're doing real well.
Oh yeah.
I'm feeling pretty good because my wife, she's always kind of like, well, if I'm getting drunk, then you need to get drunk too, so I don't feel so drunk. So I was drinking a little bit more, but I was looking at the table. That was the ones with they were the most concerned with the dog. I think one of them came from, actually the one that you said, I think she actually came from that table.
Probably.
Yeah. And they were looking good. I mean, at the end of the night, they were falling. They were slipping on the the hands were slipping off the tables, and they're like, like when people try to put they're so
Right.
old, their instincts aren't, they never were. Their instincts were never good enough to recover from that, but now they're old and slow too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's funny.
It was from that perspective, it was definitely comical.
Yeah.
Watching the folks in there, because I like to watch people as it is, but man, it was just too much for me. I had to several times. I had to get up and I had to go outside, man.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, you did. Yeah. Well, dude. First off, I appreciate it. I'm glad you came up. I had fun. I know I had more fun than you because I'm drinking. and you weren't. So there's no fucking way you were going, you know what I like to be around? I love to be around a bunch of drunk people.
Yeah, I mean, that's number one on the list for sure.
Yeah. That's the worst.
When you got Marines like Billy and Murdog that they got to take care of all the time. But
right.
I'm kidding. Yeah. I'm used to it. In fact, I'm well versed in it. However, it doesn't mean I exactly enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, that's what you were doing. You were going out and doing your thing, and I'm like, hey, dude, get that shit on because I'm getting to that point. I'm starting to feel it good too. I don't want to be the only guy here.
Yeah, man, it was
because that's the worst. The junks are the fucking worst. I love my wife, dude, and if she has too many, just two, I just start hating her. And I'm like, how can I get her into a burning house?
Billy said, "Bite me. I've walked Alma." It's a true story.
Oh.
It's a true story. But yeah, it's even when we're out, I don't even let the kids pet her. When she's working, she's working.
Mm-hmm.
The only exception is at camp, because we're all fucked up in that camp. So she's busy working through all of us.
Yeah. Now, were you mad at me? Because I was petting her quite a bit too. Because I was getting I was in the same boat really as you. It's kind of a distraction. And I said, well, you know what? I think I said it to you at one point. I said, I'm going to quit petting her because now everyone's coming over and asking you to fucking pet her. So I didn't want to make it look like community property. And I figured I was probably hurting more than I was helping. So
I really don't care what other people think. So
yeah,
didn't bother me at all. Because she was sitting, and at that moment, everything was fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I know you noticed a couple times she got up and sat and then would lean into me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, all right, I'll get up and go outside.
So you think she was feeling like you're either?
Oh yeah, she was alerting.
Okay.
That was what she's supposed to do.
Yeah.
She leans into me. So
I wish you would have done that to me and said, "Go get your wife." That's what I need. Home. I need a fucking service dog that'll get my get your wife and get the fuck. Why's your dog doing that? Spinning around. That's what she always does. And I got to get my wife and get the fuck out of here.
You need to train your dogs to just grab onto her and pull her out the door.
Yeah, dude. She
Astor would do that.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. She'd be whining the whole time, right? Yeah. You know what was funny is we were sitting there. Hold on, my son's texting me. we're trying to get this one in. And when are you picking me up? Let's see, what time is it?
Tell them 11.
11. I got an Uber. Fucking Uber will be there in 10 minutes.
Your mom's drunk again. I got an Uber.
Look, I burned your house down. Daddy's out getting drunk. I should be drinking. I'm not. We were talking about having a drink, and I said I probably better not. I got to pick my son up from tutoring, so I won't. But because I won't stop.
Right.
Let's see. I got to respond back.
Well, I mean, it was. I would have enjoyed it much better if I could have heard what everybody was saying. I couldn't hear nothing.
I couldn't either.
Yeah, nothing.
I mean, I woke up the next day and my throat hurt.
Yeah, mine did too.
Yeah. My wife would say this because you talk too much. And I would say yes, but it's also because I talk too much over a fucking guitarist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who was pretty good, by the way.
He was good. Yeah, he was real good. The name of the band was Guy. There's two. There were supposed to be two.
Right.
Gravy, but it was biscuits and gravy, and we just had biscuits that night.
No, we had gravy.
Was it gravy?
Yeah, we had gravy because biscuits was out back in the glory hole.
That's right.
They're going to earn their money one way or the other, pal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty good.
It was good. Well, that's where I was going with it. It was so good that when we were leaving, because I thought we were all going. I thought we all fucking knew we were going.
Well, all of us but one did.
But one person, yeah, she was with me. And so we were sitting outside saying goodbye, and I'm ready to walk across the street, and she says, all right, let's go, see you guys later. And she starts to walk back and go, whoa, whoa, whoa. And that's when I needed my little dog.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah, I was like, oh, yeah.
And I stopped her and go, where are you going? And she goes, I'm going back in. We're going to listen to some music. And I'm thinking, fuck.
I was thinking,
you're already done.
I was thinking, man, she's going to be miserable tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. You know what she didn't feel bad? You know who felt bad?
You.
Me.
Yeah.
And I got up because we had to go look at the houses the next day, right? Because I burnt mine down. So I had to go looking at other houses.
Hey, did you burn your house down?
I burned it down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we went out the next day, and I looked at her at one point because we had to get up and meet a friend of ours at, I forget what time it is, like 9 or something. But it's not that early, but that day it was real early. And I said, yeah, well, let's do this. And of course, I'm driving all the way, and I'm like, oh, this is fucking, I had a headache and just beat. And I look at her, and we're waiting for her to show up for the first property we're looking at. And I said, I go, so what's going on? She goes, we're going to do this one, and then we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back at 2. And then right there, I'm like, you're real good at that. I said, you're like the best house picker I've ever met. I think you got this. But I got home and I took a break, and I just laid down a bit, and I kind of recovered.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was fine.
But we didn't even stay out that late.
What time did we leave?
I think it was like 11.
Okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't a late night. It was just a lot going on.
There's a lot, yeah. Yeah, like I said, she was normally I kind of sip my drinks. But like we weren't driving, so
right.
I knew I could let a little bit more, but then she was like, I had her go. She's like, what's taking you so long?
Right. And then when you would go to the bathroom, she'd order you another one.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Huh.
A couple times.
Oh, man. And then she'd probably go, you're not just enough. Right. That's why I couldn't get them done quick enough.
Yeah. See how they are? Yeah. They're conniving, man. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, I had a good time, though.
You know what?
Don't say it because you didn't.
The company that we were with, I had a good time with. Okay. The scenario is what it is, man. Ain't shit you can do about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, man, because like I started asking people, because I like to talk to people, so I'm out kind of bullshitting when I'm stuck in line at a restroom. I'm like, so you guys come here all the time,
right?
And they're all had to say, oh yeah, we love it here. We're
come here often.
Yeah, come here often. But the worst part is like they were like our age, so
right.
You kind of, and then again, it's kind of a side of life I get to see where thank God I have someone who loves me. And actually, I burned their house down, and they still want me around. Right. These guys probably didn't even do nowhere near that. They probably like just forgot to let the dog out,
or some shit,
yeah. Whatever. And they're like on their own, or maybe they're not even on their own. Maybe they're just there with maybe that's just what they do.
Yeah, who knows, man? It could be post divorce, or And
I'm not against that.
I'm not either. If that's your life, live it, man. Yeah. But it ain't mine, and that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking it.
It's definitely one of those things. Like, I don't think I'd want to do that.
It used to be my life.
Yeah, no, mine
I
too.
spent a lot of
I spent a lot
time
of
in bars. Damn.
I spent
Too
way
much.
too much time. But I think you get, dude, you said something at one point and it was so, because I actually envisioned myself doing it. You said, imagine being 50 years old, which I am, and being in the bar drunk dancing. So the visual would be
it's a pretty funny visual in my head.
The visual would be me in this fucking chair and you, because you're sitting like right where you're at, and a bunch of drunk women and maybe guys, I couldn't really tell, but right over my shoulder.
Yeah.
And I just like,
and they were white girl wasted.
Yeah.
Oh,
just bad dancing.
Oh.
And it hit. And I thought, no. Like,
yeah.
Fuck
like, this.
Yeah. And then you got to throw in the fact that
Night, Billy. I don't know if I called him or not, but probably not. Night, Billy. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if I could have heard better, it would have been much, much better. Because, without talking and having that distraction, all that anxiety just is continuing to build. And frustration of not being able to hear. Yeah,
that's, I could hear you. And then when Connie would talk, I'd be like, I just have to go. I didn't fucking think you said.
Yeah. I could make out a couple words with you. I was able to make out enough to figure out what you were saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was a struggle, man. And then when the waiter came over, I had no fucking clue what that dude was saying. He's like, I don't fucking know, man.
Yeah.
And I look at Connie.
I just assumed he was getting another order for me, another drink.
Right.
Because apparently she was ordering my drink.
Again, I'm not trying to be negative. Nothing against any of those people at the bar or anything. It was just the experience that I had. And I was just trying to deal with the best I could. And I think I did a pretty decent damn job.
You did a good job. Yeah, you did a good job. And then we've already talked about doing it again this week. So there's that.
Well, we talked about it. It's about as far as that shit's going.
Like my hospitality, my kindness only goes so far.
Well, just so happens I've got a couple podcasts on Friday, so darn, I just can't go.
Yeah. Well, it is hard, and I think the hardest part, like if you don't drink, you can't. You just can't be around fucking people like that.
I can in the right setting, but if there's too much stimulus, then I can't. Yeah. If the music's too loud, I can't engage in a conversation with anybody, which will kind of distract me from the way I'm feeling. Then I just kind of get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, I'm kind of proud of myself for the way I handled it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think you got a little bit irritated, but with the dog, I didn't get any of that, and then I got it. But I think if that would have played less of a part, you probably would have been more relaxed.
Yeah.
It didn't help.
That's the best way to say it. I couldn't relax in there. Yeah. I mean, I'm constantly on it, hyper vigilant. I had to sit where I see the fucking door. That's why I sat in that seat.
Yeah, that's how I normally am. I'll do that, but like at that point, like when I drink, I don't carry.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's that. So that kind of throws me out of the game. I figured at that point, well, I guess I'm just dying. So I always weigh my options. Like, we both carry concealed. But drink, I don't, because I don't feel like being a felon for that.
Yeah, right.
Like they weigh it like this. Okay, you made your choice tonight. You decided, you know what, drinking is the most important thing in my life.
Yeah.
And so I do that or I don't, which is funny because I have buddies that didn't get like their carry license until just a few years ago. And then like they live in, heavy drinking parts of the area, like Nebraska and Iowa and shit like that. And I would hang out with them and they started asking me questions like, do you carry? Like, no, like right now in the bar, like, no, we've already had like fucking 16 buckets of beer.
Yeah,
like,
Jesus.
You fucking crazy?
Right.
Are you? Yeah. Like, God, you didn't carry for 50 years and now you're carrying. And I think that's funny. So did I ever tell you that story? I had one of my buddies go, yeah, fuck yeah, dude. And I go, well, what do you think you're going to do? Like, well, someone comes in, you never know. They come and start shooting up the bar. So I got my gun. I said, dude, because you're sitting right next to me. I said, man, dude, if someone comes and starts shooting up the bar, and you get up, I go, I'm taking your ass out first because here's how this is going to work. I already know my luck. That guy's going to miss me. And you're going to fucking shoot me
right.
trying to hit him. So I'm taking you out. You're the guy going down. You're closest to me. I got you. But so like in that situation, you got your thing to the door. Me, I don't even have anything on me. So I guess if I go down, at least I was drunk.
Well, even if I was not carrying at that moment, I still have to. Yeah. There's always a fighting chance.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna die, I'm gonna die fighting. I'm not gonna die a fucking pussy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna attempt to disarm or whatever the case may be, or I jump on top of Connie, protect her, whatever, you know. But if I can't see it coming, I can't do that. So
no, I get it.
It's my fucked up mind.
No, dude, I'm the same way. Actually, normally when we go in places, but actually, I think I was kind of at the door, so I had an angle. But the way the chair set up at first was like that, but it's because we had the guitars right behind us. But Bets always knows, like if we go into a restaurant or anywhere, I always got the door. But I'm also always more prepared. I figured when I'm going to be in a state that I'm going to be in later on, you're not going to want me doing anything. I'm going to maybe just slide a chair over or something, probably miss, fall over while I do it.
But it could be enough to distract and save lives.
Could be, yeah.
You know, did I ever tell you the time we were in Thailand and I thought we were going to die?
Is that the hotel? You're at the hotel and you got the spoon?
No, it was the, at first I had, all I had was a bread knife.
Bread knife, that's it.
And then I broke the fucking towel rack off. That was crazy, man. Did
you tape it to it like Rambo? So you had like a fucking towel rack?
No. I just took the towel rack. I figured I ain't killing anybody. How funny would that be,
though? You get like so remember Rambo?
Yeah, making the spear.
Like the closet hanger, like any fucking scotch tape.
Right.
Not even like what he had. He had like, he uses shirt, right?
Oh, or his bandana or some shit.
But you didn't have that. You had like a freaking hair barrette.
Right.
You got a butter knife on the end of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Fucking hair clip or a bobby pin.
Like that, dude.
But yeah, man, at that moment, I was essentially weaponless. And I knew, well, what I thought was that they had guns.
Yeah.
So I had to
kind of people saying there was people in the hallway saying they had guns, right?
No, we just assumed that.
Okay, yeah.
Because the fireworks that had went off.
Right,
yeah. It sounded like shotguns.
Yeah.
Is what it sounded like. And, when you're dead asleep and you hear that, logic goes out that you react, it's that fight or flight. And so I had made my peace. I was like, well, I'm going tonight, but I'm taking at least one with me and I'm going to protect them the best I can.
Yeah.
And it's weird, dude. There's an eerie fucking calm and peace that comes over you once you've accepted it.
Yeah. I think I think that's where there's that divide. Not that I'm this, again, I don't want to be that guy that goes, all right, this is what I do. If you watch like a video, here's what I would do. Cause you don't know. And I've never been like in a gunfight. I have buddies that have been, and they never have anything good to say about it. And I fell over some shit and fired some rounds off.
It's not the fucking movies, that's for sure, man.
So I don't know how I would handle it, but I do think there's a divide between, like what you were saying, survive. Is a word I'm looking for? Survivor.
It's your fight or flight response.
Fight or flight, but you're like, okay, I might die, and I'm probably gonna die anyway, but I'm gonna put up a fight. I'm not gonna be a victim. And then there's those that are just going to be victims,
right?
And the funny thing is, man, I just heard. I think he was on Rogan a couple of years ago, and he was Colleen Noor.
Oh yeah.
And he's great, and he put it in a. How did he? And I'm completely gonna misquote him, I'm sure, but you'll get the idea. He says, the people that don't want you to have guns and carry guns, it's not that they're just completely opposed to it, like you're gonna hurt and do bad things with it. It's that they've decided to be victims.
That's true.
They've decided, I'm not going to do anything if my life is in danger or threatened.
Right.
And they don't want us, how do I say, making them look bad. Right. Like if I'm not going to do it, if I'm just going to be a victim, then I just need you to be a victim too.
Right.
Cause that's the way, but I know I'm saying it the wrong way. I know he can articulate that way better than me. So.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. Hey, look, it's it's about that time. I think we wrap it up.
Yeah.
You got to go get Jet.
Yeah.
How do you feel
right now?
You feel better talking about it?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, when we talked about this, that I needed, I didn't want to be, and that's not really the reason, like, we didn't do this. I did bring my stuff. I thought I could do it.
Right.
I wanted to kind of keep going on. I didn't want to be like, oh, curled up in fetal position on the bed. So I thought we could still do it. The problem is that my internet at this hotel is fucking
sucks.
It's terrible. Like, it is brutal. So I knew I couldn't do that. But yeah, I do feel better. You know, it's still a long haul.
Oh, yeah.
But like I said, when we get in that place, everything is going to be different.
For sure.
And then, like I told the kids, I said, I know I'm going to make it a great Christmas. Don't worry. You're still going to get your shit. You know,
Santa still knows where you're at.
Santa still knows. He knows where you're
at. Fat bastard.
Yeah, motherfucker. But so that's going to be good. It's just going to be different.
I just hope that when he comes to the extended stay, he doesn't get the rooms mixed up and drops off a bunch of needles and crack. Okay, so maybe some bleach. Who knows?
Now, maybe there's some people that have stayed. I know you said you had, and you were like, never get. It's not that bad, but
it's not that great.
It's not that great. It's really, there's some people that seem to embrace it as like a home.
Well, it is for a lot of people, unfortunately.
Well, one lady told Beth, so whether it's true or not, I don't know, don't care, but it is. I find it interesting. She said that it's a whole story behind it, but she ended up screwed on a house deal she was going to buy. She gets screwed by a friend, had to live in it. I'll make this real quick. And now she's been in this extended stay since June. And I think she told Beth she'd spent like $35,000. I'm like, are you like, you know, that is the worst investment I've ever heard of. Like you've spent $35,000 to fucking stay here. I mean, so like they do give you breakfast. I get up every morning. I'm up down there in the thing at 5:30. I'm like the first one down there, and the same lady sees me and goes, "Good morning." I'm like, "Yeah." And she, you know, they'll have a nice little breakfast, biscuits, gravy, bacon, shit like that. Then you come down later on, and they'll have like they have beer on tap. Like,
oh,
like
wow.
So you can have beer if you want, but I had one night and it was just nothing but head because it's so warm. But there's people sitting down there like their own booze. Like they'll just bring like a bottle with them. And then
people live there, man.
Yeah.
They know shit, live there.
Yeah. So this is a whole new world for me. Yeah. So and then that's when the stories started coming out. But like that night, they have like meatballs like in a tray or like some shit. I didn't eat, you know, like we're going to go to dinner right now. I got to pick my son up. Then we're going to do that. But those people will be eating.
Yeah.
Like they're going to make a meal out of some meatballs and toothpicks. And
I wouldn't believe a single fucking thing they tell you.
I didn't. Because when Beth told me that story, I was like, there ain't no fucking way. Because there was just some long drawn out thing. Like how, of course she got fucked, right? They all got stories. I got fucked.
Never their fault.
Yeah. And hers was like that same thing. Like I did this and I did that and I got fucked. And she seemed like a really super nice lady. Maybe she did. Again, we all got our problems.
Yeah.
I definitely got mine right.
That's
so
for sure.
I didn't tell nobody about it. Actually, we didn't. I don't think anybody knew. We had heard somebody else maybe was in there, but I kind of try to keep that.
You should.
It's not something you want to talk about either.
Fuck them. You don't know them.
Still sore.
Anyway, let's wrap this up, dude. Hey, what's up, Frozone? You're a day late and $1 short. We're wrapping up. But yeah, so just keep coming over here until you guys get your internet up and all that shit. We'll make that happen. Guys, hey, stay tuned. Coming up next at 7 p.m., we're doing the Communities podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and a bunch of other platforms. So check us out. Anyway, Ryan, thanks for coming over, dude.
Absolutely, buddy. Thanks for having me.
We'll do this again.
We will.
Next week, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
All right. Peace, y'all.
See ya.